Welcome back to another episode of the Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm Vinny Servino, college supervisor. Joining me is Jheremy Brown. Jheremy, how are you?
Oh, Vin, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on yet again.
Well, another week of college baseball, but this time, number one team in the country goes down. Vanderbilt loses a home series to the University of Georgia. They got outscored pretty handily in the series, losing games 1 and 3 by a significant margin. Elsewhere, number 2, Arkansas squared off with number 11, Ole Miss, in a game that came down to a football score on Sunday. And then we also have some live looks based on what Jheremy saw this weekend over at Boston College.
Yeah, Vin, I was able to make the trek down Friday, Saturday for the BC-NC State series, and NC State took the series, swept the Eagles at home. Friday was a 20-5 victory. Saturday a little closer. Today, I believe, was 7-0, but I'll start with BC since they hosted NC State, and you have the big three that you knew about coming into the year with Sal Frelick, Cody Morissette, Mason Pelio. And Emmett Sheehan was kind of there in the shadows, like, hey, they have this arm. We know he's kind of good. Let's see how good he is. But he's been their best arm this spring by far. Stats-wise, was up to 95. Later into his outing, allowed 4 runs on Saturday, but 3 of them came late and off inherited runners from the bullpen. So you kind of look at the profile and you start to see like another arm that Coach Gambino's developed since getting on campus. He only had 23 innings up until this point in his career. Now he's already got 48, on and on. Like everything's there to like.
You know, Sheehan's been their best arm this year. Mason Pelio, the projected ACC pitcher of the year, coming in, has right around a 6 ERA now. So he's about as unknown as they come. But you mentioned that you might have seen a pair of first-round prospects from an offensive perspective. So talk about those guys.
Yeah, I mean, really it's a trio, one of them on NC State. But with BC, with Cody and Sal, 2 of your preseason All-Americans, Frelick, really disciplined approach, just never expanded the zone, just wouldn't do it. Swung and missed maybe once or twice at most throughout the 2 games I saw. Morissette played second base, played it well, showed athleticism, range to either side, picked up his hits, had a double, overslid the bag, would have had another double, but he never acquired the bag, so technically a single. He did what he had to do, showed well. There was a good, strong contingent of scouts behind the backstop, moving over above the third base dugout every time those 2 came up, patting 2 and 3 for the Eagles. The third potential first-rounder, Luca Tresh on NC State, the catcher, really seems to be rising up boards lately this spring, mostly because of the bat. We did get to see that, hit a long home run on Friday. Picked up a couple of hits on the day overall. Behind the plate, surprisingly, did really well. Stuck pitches at the bottom of the zone, was never challenged. Evan Justice came out of the bullpen, a 6'5" lefty, up to 98. Like, didn't expect that. But Tresh was getting his thumb underneath him at the bottom of the zone and just handled it like it was nothing. So that was good to see. And NC State just kind of top to bottom, solid team offensively, had a couple different pieces that clicked throughout. So
anybody at home can go ahead and read those college reports on the website at perfectgame.org. We have a whole database, which is probably right around 300 player reports, I think, this spring. So, but shifting gears and talking about the SEC, Georgia loses their Friday night starter going into the series, and kind of everybody expected Vanderbilt to win. But Kumar Rocker gets hit pretty hard game 1, 3 home runs allowed in the 3rd straight week with velocity down, so that's obviously concerning. And then you have a great pitcher's duel in Jack Leiter and Ryan Webb on Saturday that Vandy's able to edge out with a home run there in the 8th inning. And then on Sunday, Georgia just really came to play and kind of walloped Vanderbilt, so to speak. So obviously there's concerns of Vanderbilt moving forward, especially in terms of Kumar Rocker and what he's going to look like here going into the next couple weeks of SEC play. But what stood out to me, too, is obviously performances by Ryan Webb and Jonathan Cannon, 2 top 2 rounds draft prospects for Georgia. And then also the fact that Jack Leiter kind of stayed Jack Leiter. So
it's incredible what he's done this spring. He really doesn't seem to miss a beat start to start. So
yeah, and then Ole Miss Arkansas, they trade games 1 and 2, split heading into Sunday with a rubber match. Final score of 18-4 Razorbacks. Arkansas was up 11-0 after I think 3 innings. Ole Miss chipping back, tie the game in the bottom of the 7th at 14 runs. And then they get a timely 2-out, 2-run double by Brady Slavens in the top of the 8th inning. And they're able to hold on and win the series. And the Razorbacks coming into the weekend and the number 2 team in the country. They are now the number 1 team in the country once more.
Vandy had a nice grasp on that number 1 for a few weeks, but it seems like maybe we're going back to the early part of the season where it's every other week you got a new team. We'll see.
For my personal health, I hope not. Elsewhere in ranked matchups, Texas Tech defeated TCU in a 3-game set. H, do you want to touch a little bit about the Red Raiders and in particular Jace Jung?
Yeah, we were talking about him a little bit that this was his revenge tour, so to speak. Last week he had a three home run game. We went with Melton from Oregon State as a player of the week. This week he went deep on Friday, deep again 3 times on Sunday, giving him 4 on the year. I think we were talking about him leading the league now in home runs in the country. And Texas Tech, that was a big matchup against TCU. Dropped the Friday night game against Russell Smith, pitched a gem for the Frogs, and then they come back Saturday, Sunday, take the series, see a nice little bump in the rankings as a result. But that wasn't the only ranked matchup around the country, Vin. What were a couple others who stood out?
No, Oregon defeated Oregon State in a 3-game set for the second time this year. And then Stanford, new to the top 25 rankings, down UCLA at home. Won the first 2, dropped the last game, but Stanford is really, really good to start the year. 15-6 now. The pitching staff is obviously really well known. Brendan Beck is back, and he's been terrific. Another guy that made the midseason All-American team, was Brock Jones, who's done it all for the Cardinal. Obviously, and they've got some guys back like Nick Bruiser, Tim Tawa. So it's been really fun to watch Stanford. They've been a very good team. Looking elsewhere in the ACC, another week, another chaos week. Louisville holds on to defeat Florida State with a comeback on Sunday. And then Virginia Tech rejoins the rankings. I think they've won 7 straight games now at this point and lead the Coastal Division of the ACC. So a lot of different moving parts there. In addition to the ACC chaos, the Big Ten is obviously going to be screwed up all year just with the schedule, formatting, and everything. But there's now 3 Big Ten teams in the top 25. Indiana and Michigan both tumbling down from where they were originally in the season after scuffling some. And then Nebraska joins the Big Ten, being the Big Ten standings leader as of this taping. And they're, I believe, 15-6 or 16-5 entering the year. So they come in at number 25, and they join Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech as the new additions to the rankings this week.
The Big Ten is going to be a fun one to follow. Obviously, they're only playing each other, no midweeks, 4-game sets on the weekend. So we'll see who's the last man standing at the end of that one.
Yeah, and we'll see who's the last man standing at number 1 in the country, too, if this year's been any indication. But, Jheremy, thank you for joining me. And we have a bunch of college content on our website, perfectgame.org. Go check it out. We got top 25 rankings, players of the week, college players reports, scout takes, all you can want in the college content. Go check it out.
Take care, guys.